you know,
Okay.
it really, yeah, that's something I hope you can help me out
Yeah. Okay. So I mean,
with.
in terms of itemization, I mean, what was your peak? Your gold two. I want to say gold two when I last coached you, right?
I believe I hit gold one, but yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like the same thing.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
because how like how many games would you say you have on Twisted Fate in total?
Uh, I mean, more recently, I would say under 20, but over the grand scheme of things, over the years that I've played, I know this champion very well.
Okay. Because this champion is very
Mechanically,
difficult.
anyways.
Yeah, it's difficult to play, and the difficulty with Twisted Fate doesn't necessarily come from your
Mechanics.
yeah, it comes from more about knowing how to space and know how to kind
Macro.
of play around other champions. Yeah, so that's kind of
Gotcha.
what makes this champion very difficult, and it's really easy to punish as well. Okay, I mean that doesn't look fun, but okay, we got first blood, nice.
Yeah. So the one thing that I took from that is like if I'm in this elo, I might as well attempt to invade because I have a fucking range stun. Might as
Yeah,
well
and
take
people
advantage
AFK.
of it.
And the thing is as well, you don't really get punished as much for. Oh god, this Morgana, that's very painful. You don't get punished for it as much as other champions, for example, because you still want to go level. You still want to get W at level 1, right? So it doesn't really change much. Okay, I don't know why she decided to fight here, but I mean, this is good. So you've got lead. Let's see what you do. Okay, so first big thing. When you're in these fights, one of the things that you want to be doing is reading your wave. So when you go for this fight, you should know the situation that your wave is in. So let me just get my pen. It'll
And
pop
I've
up
got
soon.
my pen in a notebook, so
Well, I'm recording this as well.
yeah, no, I know, I know, I know. You have the stylus or whatever that goes on like the actual.
Yeah, but I can't seem to find it. It's might be hidden somewhere on the screen. This is the problem with having triple monitors.
I
Okay,
just have one giant one.
I think it's actually bugging. I don't think it's anywhere.
Is it because it's not windowed?
No.
It is borderless.
Okay.
R-
No,
Um,
it's just bugging for me.
reset
Hold on, I'll just do.
reset the thing, yeah.
Uh, no, for some reason it's just refusing to. Let me give it a shutdown. This is very weird.
You see some message to me.
Um,
Who the fuck is this?
Maybe if I run it as that. I have no idea what's going on with this pen. Right, hold on.
You ever watch Courage?
What, the Cowardly Dog?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I found it. I got it back. I don't know. It's just bugging out. Right. So what I was trying to say is right here. What you should be doing is you should be able to read exactly what's happening with the wave here. So what is happening at this point? Say this
Okay,
is frame
so
one.
gotcha. Minions are aggroed on me.
Okay.
Um, and it looks like in this split second, if they keep attacking me, my minions will start to push
Okay.
by killing off the enemy minions.
Okay.
Um,
So now we
and
know this
okay,
frame.
yeah, and even more so, I think the jungler started. Oh yeah, yeah, he did start blue side.
He
He might have started
he
blue
was
side.
still on here. I don't. I think he was AFK. I think here
Yeah, yeah, we killed him, and then
he
he
didn't come
decided
back
to.
for ages.
Yeah.
So the thing is here. So in this moment now, what do you think you should be looking like? What should your focus be?
Okay, so I didn't even realize this until now. It looks like if I leave the wave alone, it's just gonna push on me. And if that's the case, then I could just go for a hard reset and then come back
Okay.
with an item advantage.
So one thing to make sure that you do, because it'll make things easier for learning, is make sure you know your terminology. So a push insinuates that it's going like this. So is the wave going like this?
No, it's pushing in my direction.
Yeah. So what this is a pull. So the
A
wave is
pull.
pulling in.
Okay.
Yeah. So push and pull. So it's a good kind of thing to remember because
True.
if you
Yeah, I
say
like that.
if you're playing with a random person, you go, oh yes, pushing, they're gonna be like, oh okay, well I need to come crash it, stuff like that, and a team stuff like that. So yeah,
Ah,
this is a pull, so it's pulling into you. So in this situation, yeah, you're right. You can instead of even thinking about this wave, you can just reset on the spot. Go back, spend, and you can just come back, and you don't even need to use TP because of the way the wave is currently. So you get to save your TP, which is really, really good for you at this point. And you've got 2 kills. Whereas here, see how you try and force it in, and now you've just kind of doomed the wave. Because now we have to put ourselves in so much danger to try and sort this wave, right?
right.
Okay, I mean, that's fine.
I think I'm looking for a reset, and
Yep,
then
so you
I
have TP, so it's
probably.
okay.
Oh, I did reset. Okay.
Yep, teleport back.
But yeah, considering like what you mentioned earlier, I could have just like stopped the wave, and I could have just stopped pushing and then just went back and then walked
Yeah, on
back
that
and
point, yeah,
without
but
wasting TP.
so the good thing about that is the fact that you can see that after the fact. So after it's
Yeah.
happened, you can see it, which is good. Because that means what we need to do is make sure that you're reminding yourself when you're in the game, like, of the wave state, right? So what you want to do is you want to get into the habit of whenever you either kill them or you get an advantage somehow, however it is, you always want to ask yourself, what is the wave doing before you even touch it? So the goal is to basically be able to read the wave quicker and quicker every time, and then don't just hit it automatically, because if you do, then you'll just autopilot and it'll go a bit rough.
Yeah.
So this is fine. Obviously, this is a cannon, so this TP is okay, but insta clearing the wave, this is something that we want to avoid. Because,
Okay.
yeah,
So let me give you
thought process,
some
sure.
yeah, so the process in my mind. I don't know why, but I just like, I just look at other higher elo players, and obviously they're thinking something completely different, but the reason why I specifically want to keep like getting this wave out of the way is one, because I just want to hit 6 as quick as possible, and
Okay.
two, I want to sort of make it seem like I'm trying to go in other parts of the map while I'm not visible, right? So if there's no minions, or if I'm not on the map, I just want to make it look like I'm pressuring them.
Okay. So,
And
the thought is okay, but it's skipping way too many variables, right? So one of the biggest things about that thought process is when are you going to be roaming the most on TF?
it's
When's
most
gonna?
like
Yeah, go. Yeah.
okay. It's most likely when I don't have any minions and I'm 6.
Yeah. So right now, are you going to be looking to roam as TF?
No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So
Yep.
even though it can be good to roam, you're just putting yourself in really vulnerable positions for no real benefit. So like
Okay.
right here, we get a TP in. This is great. She's got ignite. So she's not going to kill you there. So we also have an XP advantage because she's just hit 4, sure. But we were already 4 and there's this wave. So what we want to be looking to do is the fact that she's running away like this is so, so bad of her. This is really, really bad. And this will happen very common in a lot of lower ranks where they'll just walk away from the wave and then you can do whatever you want with it. Now, if say, for example, she was up here, then we can't really hold the wave because then she'll just start hitting us. We'll get this fight, and then we're pinned on the tower. She'll charm us when we're here, and then we die, right? So what we want to be looking to do instead is we just want to wait for them to make silly mistakes. So this is a silly mistake because you could have held the wave, and then we've only got a minute, well, just over a minute to a minute and a half until we're 6 anyway. So all we need to do is hold the wave here and just wait. And then the next wave is a cannon. So this is really good because then we can be aggressive when the cannon comes because she hasn't recalled. So
Let
it's
me
kind of
ask you,
about, yeah, sure.
is it every 3 waves a cannon appears?
Yeah, so from minute 0 to 15, you get a cannon every 3 waves. From 15 to 25, you get a cannon every 2 waves. Oh, I don't know what that was. Every 2 waves. And then from 25 plus, you get a cannon every wave.
Okay, let me write that down.
So it kind of goes up and up and up on gold. Like, for example, this is only worth 125 gold, whereas this is worth 195 gold. So you end up in this really, really good kind of position where 25 plus 2 waves is basically 1 kill.
Yeah.
So yeah, it changes every breakpoint. And that's why I distinguish early as 0 to 15, mid as 15 to 25, and then 25 plus as late game. So what's happening now is we do have this slow push. But we could have had a better wave. Could have had a bigger slow push. So also there, you use your card, you use red card on your cannon, but then you instantly demat it.
Hmm.
So with your red cards, like if you want a hard push, which I presume that's what you want to do based on how you're playing it. If you want a hard push, then you want to be using your red card on these back 3, because without these, so the way you need to see it is these melee minions are bruisers or tanks. These casters are ADCs, right? And same here, same here. So what you want to realize is these are all the damage. So they're all the damage. These are all the HP. So what you
Gotcha.
then want to kind of do is if you instantly kill these back off, then there's no damage. So this HP actually is allowed to be much bigger because there's no damage coming from this backline. Whereas from this one there will be, so the wave will push in quicker. So if your purpose was to hard push, which I presume that's what it was, then that's how you want to be doing it. You want to be using red card on the backline and then just slowly kill a cannon off on its own.
Yeah, I think this is a big
Yeah, because so what do you think the problem is
reminder.
now?
Okay, so the problem as in like so if she was I presume like if she was smarter she could probably freeze.
Yeah, so she could hold the wave, sure.
Um yeah, so she has the potential to freeze this, but it looks like she's gonna push right back in.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, I mean that's what I can that's what I see as a problem.
Another thing as well, you're not actually 6 yet. You're nowhere near. And I mean, this ward is okay. You don't have to go that far for it though. Like literally, just come to the brush and just pop it here. It's completely fine
Okay,
because this
okay.
is brushed anyway, so you don't see anything. Same with here, so it doesn't really matter that it's there. Um, so yeah, you could have done that, but the one of the big problems here now as well though is you're not really gonna have a big wave for when you turn 6, right? It's really really small. Like
Mm.
so one thing that we need to do is we need to kind of start focusing more on kind of the kind of push and pull motion of the laning phase. So like as TF early, I mean we got super lucky in this lane, right? We got 2 early kills. But even with those 2 early kills, we still don't really want to fight too much because we still want to actually turn that gold into a lead. And one of the best ways we're going to do that with Twisted Fate is going to be at level 6. So one thing that I would probably suggest is when you're in these kind of lanes, like refrain from fighting as much and just play the waves slowly, right? So one of the things that we're doing is we're just constantly pushing in and in and in. Where if you're playing something that is like super aggressive and can poke in the tower, let's say, I don't know, we're playing something like a Zerath and the enemy jungler is something useless, like, I don't know, Poppy, something. or let's say like Diana, because she's going to farm. So then we have the option where, okay, we can push the wave in and then poke them on the tower. But when we're playing TF, we don't really have the luxury of being able to poke them massively in the tower. Like, we can go for some short trades, but it's not going to be huge. We're just going to look to get electrocuted and back out. But the problem is here is we're getting these waves in, and then the first thing we're doing when this wave is in is we're instantly just looking to do damage to it and clear it. Whereas this is something that we want to avoid, because we want moments of safety. What's actually happening right now is we're not giving ourselves moments of safety whatsoever throughout this whole game. So let's say,
Right.
for example, if this jungler was a more meta jungler, like maybe a Jarvan or a Lee Sin or even things like the Kayn, you're repeatedly putting yourself in a position where you're in massive amounts of danger, and there's no real reward to come out of it either. Like, you're not going to kill Ari in this position, right? Like, so there's no real reward to get out of it, but we're just constantly being in a position where we could potentially die.
I
So,
guess subconsciously on
yeah.
top of on top of all of this, I think maybe it's helping mitigate her CS
Uh,
just by pushing it into but you know that whether it's right or wrong, I
yeah,
feel
I
like
mean,
that's just how it.
it definitely,
Mhm.
it's not wrong, but if I'm playing Ari, I'm not really that bothered about CS either, you know? Like, Ari's kind of like an AP assassin kind of champion. So, you know, like, she's not really going to focus as much on the CS. Whereas the thing with TF is you don't really want to be having to reset in situations like this, right? So, one of the biggest things that Doper, do you know who Doper is?
Yep.
So one of the main things that he actually does when he plays TF is he won't go for these fights unless it's kind of free. And then what he'll do, because as we can see here, we're now pushing this cannon wave, and we're not really going to be able to use it whatsoever because we're just hard pushing. So what he does is he stays in lane until the second cannon is about to arrive. So right here, see, this is the last wave where he stays in lane. So this is what you want to be doing. You want to be, okay, clear the next wave instantly. So you've got your ward down, good. So now what you'd look to do is this next wave, you'd look to instantly clear it. Now obviously we can't do this because we've used teleport. But what we would look to do instead is as soon as this wave arrives, we just hard crash it in. We don't really care much. And then as soon as it's crashed, we instantly recall. And then we come out of the base with the next cannon. And then as soon as we get into mid lane and kill the cannon off from the enemy wave, we're going to get level 6 off that wave. So then what you do is you've basically maxed out your CS pre-6 to be as strong as you possibly can. And then you reset, you come out, you get level 6, and then you instantly go to a side wave. So it's a really, really easy strategy to do consistently without really worrying too much about your laning phase. Because right here, see, we've got 6, great. But can we really go bot with this much mana? And Ari also has the ability to roam harder. And, oh, okay. So he actually just nearly died to it.
Hmm.
So do you see at the moment where we're not really playing the lane out the way that it's supposed to go? And part of
Right.
this is because we're just constantly looking to push when it's not really too safe. If you're playing, let's say you're playing something like an Azir. An Azir can constantly push because he's not invincible to ganks, but it's very difficult to gank an Azir if he knows how to shuffle. So with
Right.
Azir, it's like, okay, you can push, push, push. Same with like a Sivir or a Caitlyn. In theory, you can push, push, push. But TF isn't really a champion that wants to just hard push over and over and over until you're ahead. And then when you're ahead, it's actually okay to do that. But so let's see where we open with that first ult. Okay, so we still haven't used it so far. So see, this is kind of one of the big problems as well. We have this absolutely huge, amazing, impactful ultimate, which is absolutely game-changing for impacting the side lanes. But we haven't really moved out of mid lane. And one of the biggest things when you have a Caitlyn that is your main kind of win condition is that Caitlyn, the way she wants to play is to push in over and over and over and just keep pushing. Now, the issue that she has if she does that in some situations is if mid lane loses prio, then the enemy mid laner will come and punish Caitlyn for pushing. Now, one of the big things with TF is that mid lane can't really do that because you just counter push the wave out and then you're still there before them with your destiny. So that's kind of one of the reasons why TF is so unbelievably strong into the roaming picks, because he can still get himself ahead, but not really fall behind. Now, what do you think is another really big thing about when you get level 6? So your level 6 is like here, right? So right here we're 6. Let's just say we've done the strategy that I spoke about. What is an important thing about the map right now that you can see?
Well, I could see Jinx is overextended.
Yeah, so that's one thing.
But I also
Yep.
in in my in like hindsight, I don't know where Lux is, and I don't. Maybe he's on my ward. Yeah, I think he's on my ward. And then I
Yeah.
see Mundo. He's probably traveling to bottom side.
Okay.
But I also see now that I'm looking at it, Jinx is low.
Yeah. Okay. That's another thing. She is very low. What else
But
do you
I
notice
also
about
don't.
Jinx?
She also has a huge wave on her, and she has double buffs.
Okay. Yeah.
In that moment, it's pretty hard to confirm whether or not, like in that precise moment, that she has her summoners because they probably
Yeah. Okay. That's
yeah.
fine. What else do you notice? What's another thing?
And she's level 5.
She's what?
She's level 5.
Yeah. Exactly. Like one of the big things about mid lane is because the way mid lane works is how long do you think it takes for the minion wave to get to here
Um,
from Nexus?
from Nexus, I have no idea. I think maybe 12 seconds. Oh,
22.
22.
So in mid lane, it's 22 seconds for the minions to meet, but in top lane and bot lane, identically, it's 32. So you end up with like you get your XP way earlier, and this is one of the reasons why this Dopa level 6 trick is so good, because you even get level 6 in mid lane before top lane. So that also means the top lane is somewhere that you can very easily impact early. And one of the reasons why that's also really good is the current meta is very heavily based around bot lane. So a lot of the times top lane becomes really fragile and vulnerable. And if you're playing something like Rise or Twisted Fate, you can abuse that quite heavily. And off one or two ultimates, you can get your top laner so far ahead that even if your bot lane is even, then the top lane is going to be able to carry the game. So this is probably one of the main things that I want you to focus on. Obviously, I know this has only been the first 5 or so minutes, but this initial opening for levels 1 to 6 on TF is so incredibly important because of the kind of champion that he is, that it's huge. Now, obviously, here, this was simply just a positional mistake. Obviously, again, we can see this wave is pulling. So here, we don't want to take any fights whatsoever. We just want to come back, sit behind our turret, get the free XP and gold, and then not really waste anything. Whereas what we do here is we end up wasting our flash, which when we're playing Twisted Fate mid lane, a flash is incredibly important, especially, when we're playing into an Ari, because she could just RE and she's just going to shoot you out really heavily by doing that. So it can be a little bit rough there too.
Right.
So again, bot lane is obviously we spoke about this already, right? But like even there, for example, that's an opportunity that you could potentially. Actually, it's kind of a bit rough because of where the wave is. All right, so dragon has been taken. So we blue card there. Okay. So we have a cannon. Do we have a demount? No, no more demounts. How much gold are we on? 1100, okay. So here we're just kind of collecting waves, which is fine. So this is actually a really good reset point because you're resetting with this cannon and you're syncing up with the cannon, which means you... Whoa, wait, where are we going? Oh,
I'm looking, I think I'm just looking for that bot.
yeah, this isn't going to go too well, is it? Oh, okay. You did get it.
Now, I fucked up there because I went back in and I had no business going back in.
Yeah, I guess luck's killed you, right? I suppose.
Right there, I decided, oh, I'm gonna go back in. And I think if she would have, if she had anything up, she would have fucking
Yeah,
murdered
should
me.
have EG you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the issues here, though, is that sure, this play works, but it's way too high variance. So, like, sure, it works, but we have a cannon here. Like, so instead of going instantly bot, we need to be prioritizing our lane. So we have a cannon, Caitlyn dies. So what we should have done is gone and push this first before we go bot.
Mm, yeah, I don't know.
And then this play would have even made more sense because then we could potentially get the blue from the cane. And I mean, Jinx didn't really have a bounty. No, Jinx didn't have a bounty either.
She didn't have a money bag on her.
She definitely did not. So, honestly here, I think the better play would have just been to push mid and then you would have seen this opening up here to
Yeah.
help them instead because that would have give you numbers. Okay, so there we actually W the backline properly, which is good. Again, your ultimate's on a sizey cooldown.
So I asked him to rotate with my pings, but then he decides to just go top anyway.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Trying to force rotations in these ranks is always kind of risky. Ooh, here we're just kind of allowing ourselves to get really beat up by this wave. I don't know
Yeah,
why did
so
she flash.
like here's my question for this. How about versus Ari? Is Rodovate no, I maybe Everfrost would be better, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you're not taking it for her. You're taking it for A, to slow down the Nasus, and also B, extra pick on the Jinx. The
Yeah.
problem is with Roa is even with Roa, if you're going for an extended fight where you're going to use the healing off it, you're never going to win that because you're into a Nasus and a Jinx. So your best bet is to go something like the Everfrost, and then just pick up like a rapid fire as well, and just look to see if maybe you can get a card on Jinx at some point.
Okay. So you're suggesting I go rapid fire second?
Yeah, so TF is a bit more of a kind of defensive mid, not defensive. He's a utility mid laner. He's the design of the champion is for setting up others, right? And right now, like this, we have so much setup, and this is, I guess, kind of a reason why it's difficult to play TF in solo queue as well, because though you will have situations where you can set someone up perfectly and they still won't be able to do anything, but the thing with TF is that if you get far enough ahead, you actually end up really, really strong. Now, one of the things that is a little bit odd here is obviously we're quite ahead in terms of kills. Like, we have a large amount of gold in our kills, but our CS is fairly low in comparison when we're in the winning lane. And one of the reasons behind that is because we're just leaving waves. We're just ditching waves entirely. And that's kind of bringing down our average CS quite a lot. So she missed her charm, which gives you a bit of safety. Okay, not bad, not bad. And the thing is, you don't really benefit from this, like from leveling up either. Like the random level doesn't do as much for TF as it does on other champions.
Yeah, I mean, if they scale, maybe like a Cassidon.
Yeah, if it's like a Caston or a Rise, you're like, oh, okay, that's very, very good. But
Yeah,
it's
I've noticed it too. I've noticed that like just playing it, I was like, I don't know, maybe another item would be better.
yeah, I think Everfrost is better. I have seen some Ludens TFs, but I don't like it. It just
It sounds
relies on you
more,
blowing someone up, but you have
yeah,
to be
that's
so far ahead.
yeah.
I think Everfrost is just better because your main purpose is to kind of peel or find picks anyway, and like fourth item you can go like a Lichbane as well or something like that too. Like TF is one of the few champions where Lichbane is okay because you can spam it so easily. You've got so many spammable abilities it becomes quite good. Whereas there's some champions that I just don't really like it on.
So I don't know, man. I think that I'm autopilot with my itemizations, and I need more clarity on that because I've just been basically hard picking Rod of Ages into Lichbane into Rapid Fire Cannon, and I don't know, like I can't even find like the deviation.
Okay, so the one of the main things that I will say is don't worry about it. Like your itemization at this level is not going to keep you back at all. Like it's not even really going to matter all that much as long as it's vaguely on point of what you need. Then it's okay. Obviously, I would recommend just going with kind of the most optimal builds. So things like Everfrost Rapid Fire, really, really good because obviously the rapid fire gives you the ability to gold card from so far away. That's really really good.
Yeah.
And when you've got other setup, like it's point and click, so it's like very very strong. And when you've got other setup as well, it's really good. I would recommend going rapid fire second though. After your Everfrost, one of the reasons behind it is obviously you benefit quite a lot from attack speed because of your E. So you don't really need to. You still get more magic damage, even though it's purely an attack speed item. Then after that, that's when you go into. Usually, the only real variation you want to be making is after your rapid fire cannon. Of do you want to go defensive or do you want to go more aggressive? Now, let's say for example, if you're even, then I'd say that if you're even, you always want to be going Lichbane unless you have a really big carry. So if you've got, let's say Caitlyn is all of a sudden 10 and 0, then you don't need Lichbane. You need a Zonya's because it's going to allow you to survive longer, push out more gold cards, and then that's going to allow the carries that are really ahead a lot more freedom to play the game. Whereas if, say, for example, you've got to, put your carry pants on a little bit more, then go in Lichbane so that you can basically have a higher chance of getting things like shutdowns is going to be really, really valuable instead. So that's kind of the only variation I'd say keep an eye out for. The rest of it, I'd say honestly, just keep things consistent, keep things the same, and just play for improving your gameplay. Because, like I said, Twisted Fate is a champion where, sure, I think that build is better, but it's really not going to matter because the champion is so difficult, but so diverse. He can do so many different things that it doesn't really matter that much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems like I gotta work on my fundamentals more
Yeah,
than
100%. So the thing is, I mean, it's not all bad. I mean, this is a game that is, from what I remember, significantly lower than your actual rank, because I think this is a new account. But yeah, these fundamental plays, like how you play that early lane, how you kind of manage on minions, how you use your first level 6, those things are really, really important because, I mean, you hit level 6 at what, about around here? Something like this. So we still have level 6. Let's see at what point in the game. So we had level 6 at, what, 5, let's say 5:30ish. So let's have a look at when you use your first ultimate. So we're by a minute already. There's 2 minutes gone. There's 3 minutes gone.
I don't think I go until my IB.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
is when I
again,
would use it.
yeah, 5 minutes. Okay, so it was roughly what, about 5 or 6 minutes before the first ult was used. I mean, it's
Yeah.
only on a 180-second cooldown.
Hmm.
So you basically you missed an entire window, or and more, maybe near a window and a half of your ult timers, just because we didn't really use the ultimate, right?
Hmm.
So this is one of the probably the most important fundamentals on Twisted Fate, because A, you get so much more XP in mid lane than side lanes, so you end up impacting them more. But B, they can't ward against you. There's nothing they can do against the TF Ultimate. They can't really ward against it. They can't really do much against it at all. The only thing they can do is fight you when you get there. But with them having no ultimate, it's also very hard for them to actually do that too. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest takeaway of all for the time being. Obviously, we're gonna continue watching, see what happens, but yeah, this champion is very difficult to play, and these are the reasons why this champion is so difficult. Okay. Ooh, that was very unlucky. E. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Unlucky. So yeah, I mean, in terms of that ult, you're kind of in a rough patch. But in these situations, you always want to try and run down because your hitbox is around your feet. So sometimes you can maybe get your hitbox out of the range, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's very difficult in those situations to get away from that, especially with no flash.
Honestly, I wasn't even anticipating Lux being there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So now, one of the big problems with this game now is as a TF, you were very strong. Obviously, you just gave away your shutdown to Lux. But you're very strong. But the problem is the early to mid game is where you need to be getting as much pressure as possible to make up for the fact that you are very, very immobile when you get to this point, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of like when there's less variables in the game to like for others to control, that's when you want to have the most impact. And this is why this champion can be insanely broken, purely because it can have so much agency in the early to mid game that it's super hard to deal with. But again, it is very difficult to do that with, and I know I'm covering like a lot of things here and saying, okay, these things need to be improved on, but that's just because the champion is genuinely just very, very difficult.
Well,
Which,
I picked it up because I didn't mean to interrupt, but I
no, it's
picked it
fine.
up because I thought that it would like help me improve a lot of aspects that I need to improve on.
Yeah,
And this is like your coaching is revealing a lot of things that like fundamentals that I just need to keep focusing on.
yeah,
But I'm writing it down.
and this is the thing, right? Like a lot of the times you don't realize exactly what you need to do different until you either find it out yourself, which can take a long period of time, somebody says it, or you see it elsewhere, right? So it can be difficult, but again, it's the thing is with this game though is it doesn't matter how difficult the champion is. The only thing that matters is if it's difficult, are you willing to keep playing it over and over, right? And as long as you are, then it's fine because it like you will get better at that champion eventually, and you will be able to carry with it eventually. Like it's just a case of putting the time in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, a lot of people don't really know how to deal with a good twisted fate purely because it's again. So the same way that you're learning fundamentals about the game, so are people in the side lanes and the enemy jungler and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden, if you have an ultimate coming through, that's going to give true sight of everybody. and then allow you to teleport 15, nearly 1600 units. That is unbelievably broken because what that does is that goes, oh, all of those fundamentals around vision that you've learned, they don't exist anymore. Like those fundamentals are scraped away. It doesn't matter. So that's kind of one of the reasons why this champion can be so unbelievably strong. Now, what happened here? So we got Baron. Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, I remember when we got Baron, actually, yes. So we got Baron. And then what did we do with it?
We went B, and then they decided to push.
Okay. So this comes from an earlier issue anyway. So this
Yeah,
basically
they were
comes from,
pushing.
yeah. This is basically because you didn't get mid prior before you went to Baron. Even if you get Baron now, they're going to just push mid out and get a tower. So basically without that prior, you're allowing yourself to be punished. But, I mean, as long as Baron is used correctly, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to be that big of a concern. And then here we try to TP in.
I
So,
saw the cannon, and then I was like, let's go.
yeah.
Even if I die, maybe I can make something out of this.
It's one of the reasons why Zhonya's is so good on TF. Because even if you take
Yep.
those risky ultimates like that, you can just instantly Zhonya's. And then they've already burned all of their CC on you.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what do we do? Oh, we're going for this. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
So I decide to help.
Yep, may as well. Like, you push quite quick now, especially because you've got your Lich Bane. So now you're actually a huge side lane threat.
Yeah.
Because you have your ultimate to get away, and you push these towers so quick with Lich Bane.
Yeah, so I'm uncontested. So I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
fuck it. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, may as well. Okay. So I mean, this is fine now. We get blue too. Okay, we kill Ari. So we're very strong. So at this point, we're not doing anything crazy bad, except this Morello, which I don't think is too hot personally. Um, Purely because at this point you don't need a Morello, right? Like, sure, they
Okay.
do have a fair amount of healing, but you can't really apply it that well. I mean, your Q's not too bad for applying it, but it's very easy to dodge. So it means that you're ending up applying it to one person, and if you're not going to 100 to 0 that one person, then it's not really that beneficial. Instead, again, Zonya's here would have been really, really good because, like I said, when you go in with that ultimate, you're relying to instant Zonyas. Another thing with TF as well, you don't really need sorcerer's shoes. They don't really do that much for you. Instead, you want to have your cards on a much lower cooldown. So lucidity boots are just usually much better on this champion. Usually, you only
Gotcha.
go soaks on champions that you want that penetration, like for example the Lux or kind of things like an Akali or a Syndra, things that really want to blow somebody up with as much as close to true damage as possible. They're the kind of only champions that really want it. With TF, you just want to use cards more.
Okay. Yeah, I figured. I just still have
Oh, blue card.
I'm looking to blow someone up.
Yeah, shame we didn't have gold card on there. Okay. Okay,
Yep.
nice. Okay, fair play. That was a good play. And we got Baron off it. Yeah, we take that. We take that.
Yeah, I didn't even realize what I was doing that wasn't directly like helping them get Baron.
Oh,
Yeah, like
yeah.
getting both of their attentions,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
they could not contest it.
yeah, I mean, side lane pressure is always huge. Okay, again, you're just uncontested.
Yeah, I fuck up here. I had more than enough time to ult out, but I fucked up.
Yeah, you thought you could kill a Mundo.
Like I walked into the tower, I was
Yeah,
like, "What the fuck is wrong with me? Just press R."
yeah. 'Cause it's the thing, you can push really, really aggressively on this champion late, as long as you are ready to use your ultimate, right?
Yeah,
Because at this point, it's only a 92-second cooldown. That's really not much.
yeah, and I also don't have the right boots, so it could have been
Yeah,
way
could have
better.
been even lower, yeah.
I didn't get greedy that time.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine though. Like, you got an exposed inhib. Now, all you really need to do is either
I'm
wait
lo
and push
Yeah,
or go down.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Because, I mean, we're not really getting that much stronger in terms of items.
Kennen is like on like with me, but I think I gave up too soon here.
Nah, she was
Yeah.
gone.
So I'm like, ah, fuck it. I don't want to.
I would have taken that wave.
Ah,
Just clear
okay.
the wave away and then. Because it's a
Yeah.
cannon, you still want it.
I told him to back off, but he didn't listen. Maybe he walks away with a kill.
No, this Mundo's just going to ruin him. Oh,
Oh
Jigsaw.
shit, there's
Oh,
a Jinx. Oh,
oh.
I think I have my ult up. Yeah. And then I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, although, be careful with your cards. A lot of these cards we're just throwing out like a blue or a red when like gold is easy enough for us to get to. So unless
Yeah.
you need like instant damage, which when you're ulting in, like, so the way you want to use your ult, and this is why POV is usually good. You want to come find where you want to go. Okay, great. Okay, here, bum bum bum. Okay, you want to ult bot, amazing. So what you want to do is you want to pop the first part of your ultimate, and then you want to press W. Then as you're like coming in, then you lock the gold card in.
Yeah, I think I wasn't paying attention. Um, clearly not paying attention because yeah, I should have gotten the gold card.
Yeah, and then that makes that fight way way easier. Again, this is fine.
Yeah, he's a pretty disgusting splitter.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
if I'm contested, which is what I
Oof,
like.
another red.
Yeah, what would have been better? Just gold?
Just gold, spam golds,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like I know blue for sure. Like it deals damage, and then
Yeah,
another yeet.
but the like hard CC at this point of the game is just so much more.
Right. It's a very like long duration stun.
And it's
One of
just
the
like
longest.
point and click is disgusting. 2 second point and click.
Yeah.
That's just insane. That's crazy big. Obviously, your blue card, like, as you can see, does do 1,000 damage, but
You could
uh,
do more within
yeah.
that
And
time.
it guarantees that your Q lands, which is 755 at this point.
Yeah, if I feel like yeah, going back to what you were saying, setting up the our team, like the team, and then I fuck up here, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, unlucky. We didn't have
Yeah,
TP.
because I walked in
Flash.
with no vision. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, it was pretty
So
dumb.
yeah, I mean, as soon as you kill him, just kind of walk up and like with these guys.
I should have just like walked away, but yeah. I was being like
Yeah, I mean, you did get the
Too
Jinx's
aggressive.
flash. Caitlyn just randomly critting for over a K.
Should be over soon.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a
Um,
ton of supers.
I think we softened. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
because
no.
it took a little longer that was close.
Yeah.
Um, than anticipated, but
Okay, he dies. Nice.
I don't know.
So
I'm
here,
just like
yeah.
I'm farming and I'm trying to figure things out.
Okay, so
Oh,
here, to be honest, you. Oh, okay. I mean, the ult out isn't too bad, but so here you just need to play it way, way slower, way slower. So like, they've got Baron. Okay, that's whatever.
we have
You have
we have the
Infernal.
potential to do more like damage
Yeah. So
in a
here, like,
fight.
we're like in melee range of her, and again, see, we red
Red
card.
card.
Yeah.
Oh
So again, the
no.
point is because we don't gold card, we now end up like falling so far into their base to do damage to her, and we don't actually get anything off. And then now we end up
Yeah.
having to use our ultimate to get out. Whereas if we played slower and then just play around those gold cards,
Yeah, I'm
then
not
we'd
gonna
actually
lie.
still win.
Even a couple more games after this, this game, I started actually like noticing like getting better mechanically with him and
Yeah.
making my. But
I
yeah,
mean, it's
it's
one of them
switching
champions.
time.
It's so hard to play that you will get significantly better mechanically over the time that you play him.
It's addicting. I'm
Yeah, yeah. I
not
mean,
gonna lie.
it's part like this thing. You either play like champions that rely more on kind of thinking about the game, or you play champions that rely more on actually doing it. You know, like
Probably,
mechanical.
yeah, yeah.
Which it's different for everybody. Some people just hate mechanical champs. Some people love them. It doesn't really matter. Some champions are actually more mechanical than you think. And see how much damage we do there just because they're locked in place with that gold card. Oh,
Yep.
it's a little bit risky to try and end there. So again, see you've got her now. Just play safe. Just reset, walk back, get somewhere safe.
Um, I was like, fuck it. Let's just end the game, but yeah,
Yeah, you got charmed.
no chance.
Yeah, just play to peel. Like you're a champion where if they're walking into you, that's really good for you. That's what you want.
I want like I just want like the attention of
Yeah,
other
fights where they're
champions.
just kind of they're trying to push your team back, pushing you back, and you can just gold card and just be disruptive for free quite easily.
Right. And just to get one last thing out of this, how about the rune setup? Generally speaking, like
Mm,
um because you have your inspiration tree and you have your dominance tree, but I've never really actually taken a sorcery tree. So I don't know when to really decide on which tree to take, but generally speaking, I pick domination.
so
Dominant.
sorcery primary isn't that amazing. To be honest, um, one of the things with it, like electrocute is nice, but the problem is the rest of the runes in the domination tree are just meh.
Shit.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
they're not that good. So one of the stronger trees that you can go is precision. So you can look to, I mean,
Really?
yeah. So right now, because you are full AP and you're going rower, then electrocute is probably the better rune page. But when you're going Everfrost, then going something like Fleet is really good. One of
Interesting.
it gives you a lot more mobility, so you can do whatever you want. Now, obviously, one of the better rune pages that you can go on TF is Unsealed Spellbook, but
Right.
it's very difficult to play with. Like Unsealed Spellbook on just in general is very very difficult. It's really hard. But you can also, I mean, you can go Comet because you land it quite easily, and that is a fairly good page for you also. But if you go Comet, then you go something like a Leandries instead, and you just play for that damage. So again, it's what feels good for you. It can be very difficult to itemize on a champion like TF. I'd say things like Everfrost Rapid Fire is the safer option. But I know the champion, because it does so many different things at so many different levels of the game. That's what makes it so difficult, right? Because it's much harder to get away with going like if say for example you can't play Spellbook and you're in high elo on TF, then it's just really really bad, right? Um, but the rest of the rune pages, it's a little bit based on your preference, but you have so many different types. It's kind of crazy because you've got comets where you go sorcery, um, where you prioritize your the same kind of runes that you do on this build. So actually, no, you've gone inspiration secondary, right?
Yeah, for minion uh
Minyadima, yeah.
yeah,
So I
to
mean,
materialize.
Minyadima is decent. Um, Usually, well, you'd always go if you've got spellbook, but again, you've also got sorcery, which you can go. It gives you access to Transcendence and Gathering Storm, gives you a little bit more late game potential. But then you'd go, if you're going something like Comet, then I'd recommend that you go Leandries with it. So you go Lucidity Boots. So you always go Lucidity Boots on TF. The only exception is if you go Swifties, but that again is a variation that is you don't really want to be spending your learning on when Swifties are good, if that makes sense. Um,
And
yeah.
how about for a hypothetical assassin composition, like they have a Z?
Then
What would ideally what ideally would my rune combination be with like itemization?
so if you're gonna go against a Z, then you definitely want Everfrost.
Yep.
Which then means that you can just go domination page there too.
Okay.
But yeah, so fleet can be good, but I'm actually having a look. No, nobody's really running it anymore. Actually, let's have a look what the one tricks are doing. Because this is the thing, Twisted Fate is one of those champions where,
You can never really get a grip on
yeah,
what
he's definitely difficult. So it's kind of like, well, what other.
he's not as common as like Silas right now.
Yeah, so it's still the same. Actually, the three variations. See, so
One
all
trick
of
GG, I've never used that
yeah,
before.
yeah, one tricks.gg. It's really good. It's really good. But this basically shows the different sets, right? So you've got here Rod of
Oh
Ages.
wow. Yeah, you're right. Uh
So you got
yeah.
Rod, Rapid Fire, and then either Nash's or Zonya's or Medjai's, which can be good too. You've got set two, which is a Leandri's build.
What the fuck?
Um,
I've never done that before.
Here, where you go Leandri's, Rapid Fire, and then Lichbane 2. It's really good just because Leandri's is so good. Very strong. And then you've got set 3, which, see, this is the other one that we mentioned, where you go the Everfrost with Lichbane, and then either Azonia's or Rapid Fire. Usually you go Rapid Fire there. But this just gives you a ton of push potential. Um, and then it also shows you some of the one tricks down here. See, like on Grandmaster Korea, even Esper.
I'm
Yep.
yeah, I'm using Professor, but sometimes Professor gives you a recommendation on like a specific champion matchup.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, it's never it's always like something as a guide.
yeah,
I don't take it too literal.
yeah. Here you can actually see. Oh, Crossbone's playing again. This guy is incredibly good. If you want to watch somebody play TF on EU West, this guy is amazing. Some of the
Oh, okay.
best movement I've ever seen. Really,
I'll
really
put
good.
that down.
But yeah, like counters, ARAM, stuff like that, like don't bother. Counters won't matter at the rank that you're at. But again, here you can find all the really good players anyway. But yeah, so this is the thing. It's based on what you go for. Like I'd say that this build is the safer one, just Everfrost Rapid Fire. But again, if you try that and you don't like it, you can still stick with Roa, but introduce that Rapid Fire in as
Second
quick as you
item.
can. Yeah. And then here, this is a little bit more of an aggressive page. It's just good because the Andrews is so unbelievably strong. Um,
I like
Obviously,
the idea based off of the fact that you're kind of like waiting for your cooldowns to come back up while Leandres is still like doing
burning.
damage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They can be really, really good. So if you're gonna go Leandries, you go something like Comet with it,
Uh-huh.
because your main goal is to land that stun card, get that Comet in, get the Leandry damage, get away, do it again. So all
Damn.
you're looking to do is walk in with the extended range, gold card, Q, back away. And
Oh,
if
dude, that sounds so fucking hype.
yeah, it's fun. It's a good build. I like it. I like it. It is fun. Then you've got the full AP kind of build where you'd go um electrocute, or well, I mean you'd go spellbook in some situations, but not until you're at least masters. To be honest, it's such a confusing rune to do. But if you're gonna do that, then you'd go probably more towards electrocute, because you're going it with a rower, so it just allows you to get your electrocute off easier, and it can be good, but it also gives you a bit more survivability as well, especially because you can go with Relentless Hunter too, which
Mm,
gives you a massive amount, and then in your secondary you make sure that you go this setup of the Nimbus and the Water Walking, and then that gives you a lot more mobility too. So this is more so if you want to go with the rower build, because you are a lot more kind of, I'd say a little bit more damage orientated, but you can take a lot more of a beating, but you still need to position. And then the set three is if you're into any kind of champion that they're going to get on top of you and they're going to do a ton of damage. So things like the Yasuos or the Zeds or the Yones, stuff like that. In those situations, you cannot get away with not going Everfrost. It's just way, way too good. Everfrost, you just go electrocute as well. So you just go electrocute rune page when you're going Everfrost too, because it doesn't really matter too much.
gotcha.
So this one you would again go electrocute. I mean, you can maybe go something like this as well. If you're going into like a really hard matchup like a Zed, this is probably best because of the bone plating. And this I don't really like this as much, to be honest. I only really like going DMAT if you're going for inspiration. Otherwise, I
I
prefer either
kind of
this setup or this setup.
I do kind of use dematerializer as a crutch
Yep.
to solidify
So the
the
main point of DMAT, like DMAT can be really good, again, in the playstyle that we were discussing as well. Because again, like I said, when you, I mean, this, we're pretty much reviewed on this, right?
yeah, that don't worry about the
It's
rest of the game. It's
ends.
over.
So
It's been
like for
over.
example here, where we were going on about this level 6 spike. So let's say for example you'd have pushed this wave as soon as it gets here. Instead of kind of floating around. If you push this wave as soon as it gets here, reset, then you've got your, oh, actually, you've used all your DMAT. So you'd make sure that you save a DMAT for this moment, because then what you do is then you come out of base, and then you should be coming out with this cannon,
Ah,
and then you run out, bum, 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 bum. As soon as a wave is long, like this, you Q down it. You then get a red card on the backline, and then you DMAT the cannon, and then you just run to either top or bottom, because you're going to instantly clear the way for that, right? So yeah, so again, like this champion, like I said, is very, very difficult. But if you're enjoying it, then keep spamming it. It's very good. And then yeah, so we'll leave that there. I'll stop the recording. I'll upload that to YouTube later.